Everybody. Just wanted to share a little bit what we talked about on Sunday as we continue to think about it. We talked about our perception of ourselves and how we can honor God in that. And in talking about this life transformation thing, a lot of times focused on ourselves. And that is good because we want to honor God in that, but we can get too focused on ourselves. And it seems like in our culture today that everybody's just really self-centered and focusing on ourselves. And that's just how we are naturally. I don't care what generation you talk about. We're going to be self-centered. And Jesus said, he that seeks to save his life will lose it. And he that loses it will find it. We lose it for Christ's sake, will gain a better life. And it's a danger for us to be so self-focused, so worried about ourselves and focused on ourselves. The biblical response is to be focused on Jesus. And so we make him the center of our universe. It is the glory of God and that demands us to place him on our throne and to focus our attention on him and not on ourselves. We know it's true that we cannot satisfy ourselves. I can't make myself happy. I can't live a fulfilled life just by fulfilling myself. It doesn't work. I can't do that, but Jesus can. And so we make him the center of our universe, and we lose ourselves. We lose ourselves. Tim Keller, I love how he said it. It is the freedom of self-forgetfulness. We just don't think about ourselves, but we think about God, and we put him on that throne, and we honor him. And so we want to make sure that we're focused on him. And we looked at this idea of love in that context, because love is the thing that enables this to happen. We tend to focus, even in love, on ourselves. And so we love a young lady or a young man because we think they can make us happy and they make me feel good. So I love them. I'm going to spend my life with them. And again, you're placing that burden on somebody to meet your emotional needs, to meet the needs of your life, your soul. And they can't do that, but God can. But true love is not focused on self, but true love is focused on God. So we see that in this world, we take love and we pervert it and we make it about ourselves. But true love will be about sacrifice. It'll be about giving for others. It'll be about doing for others. And that's the plan God has given us. The two great commandments. Love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy mind. Then love thy neighbor as thyself. This doesn't mean that, again, we have to understand we are made in the image of God. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. There is value to us. And that's important to understand. But we will embrace this idea of loving God and loving others as we let him abide in us. We are to love others as we love ourselves. So we are to love ourselves. We don't fix a low self-esteem by loving ourselves more, because self-love is a dangerous thing. And if you lift that up, it never satisfies. But we combat low self-esteem, insecurities, low self-worth by loving God. Because when we love God, we experience his love. And I can be okay with myself knowing God loves me. And I can have a right view of myself, a healthy love for myself, if I filter it through my love for God. And then that will enable me, that love relationship with God will enable me to be a loving person toward my wife, toward my children, toward my church family, toward the world and those that are lost, and then ultimately toward my enemies. And so love enables us to experience the freedom of self-forgetfulness, of not focusing on myself. It doesn't matter about me. It matters about God. It matters about him. And it matters more about him, and it'll matter more about others. And we'll fall into this place of a healthy self-perception. We abide in him. We make him our king. We make him our God. And then he meets that need in us. and then we are transformed. We are changed from a self-centered individual into a God-centered individual. And that's where fulfillment comes. That's where joy comes. The filling of the Spirit. All of these things, not filled with myself, but filled with God. And that is a good place to be. And looking forward to Sunday. We'll see you then.